The Supreme Court ruling striking down Roe v. Wade could impact women of color more severely than anyone else.
Really? So the striking down of Roe v. Wade, right? You want me to believe that it will affect women of color more. So let me get this straight. You would rather women of color terminate their babies, right? You would rather them do that. So let me get this straight. More propaganda, more fear-mongering, more paying our women off so they could come on your broadcast to spew more lies. Oh boy, let me see. Possible abortions ban effect 33%. Estimated increase in Black maternal deaths. So let me get this straight. The new fear you're trying to implant in BWs is that if they carry out their pregnancies now, that they're gonna die. So it's better to terminate the baby because if the BW bring forth the baby, she's at more risk of dying. So you're trying to tell me that the Bible is false now, right? You're trying to tell me that the Most High telling our people that they are fruitful and to multiply, that's a lie, that if the BW tries to get pregnant and bring forth a child, oh, she's gonna die in the process. And that's what you're trying to push here? Let's go.
A Duke University study estimates that
a Duke University study. They always studying us, fam. Let's go.
Complete abortion ban could increase Black maternal deaths by 33%.
Interesting. So it increases Black maternal deaths, but it don't increase white maternal deaths. It don't increase Asian maternal deaths. No, all of them, they're perfectly fine. They could just have babies. They're fertile. They could just do whatever they want. But if the BW bring forth a child, it will increase her death. I wonder why.
Black women are already 3 to 4 times more likely to die giving birth compared to white women.
Really? So Black women are more likely to die giving birth than white women. Where did they get this madness from? And see, this is why, as a people, we need to be following the Most High, because if you continue listening to this garbage, now, what this speaks volumes of is what our women are actually doing right now. They're out here terminating all their pregnancies. That's what's really going on because of the fear of death. In other words, I don't want to have a baby because if I have a baby, I'm more at risk of dying. So I'm going to kill the kid and get that over with so that I could be safe. So this issue with Roe v. Wade overturned, it has no effect on white women at all. Just Black women. Interesting. Interesting how they found a BW to come on the air to share her mess. Interesting.
I want to bring in Kanika Harris from the Black Women's Health Imperative. Kanika, those are some damning stats.
Those are some damning stats. Really? You mean stats that aren't true? Let's go.
This is personal from you.
This is personal for you. Like she really cares, right? Like the other nations care about us, right? They're so concerned about your well-being.
Talk to us about your own experience as a Black woman having an abortion and what impact this ruling will have on women of color.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I never thought in my 40s that I would be in a situation where I would have to contemplate an abortion. I was married, I had children, substantially employed, and didn't know that I would end up in that situation. However, due to my previous pregnancies, due to experiencing trauma and racism during pregnancy and
Racism during pregnancy? What racism did you experience during pregnancy? How much did they pay you? Because I don't believe nothing you're saying. I don't believe you at all. You're trying to convince women to join your organization.
delivery. It was recommended that if I were to get pregnant again, that my uterine walls had stretched so thin from my pregnancies, having two twin pregnancies, that it wasn't a good idea for me to move forward with the pregnancy. And despite our best efforts, my husband and I, we found ourselves pregnant.
So let me get this straight. You and your husband, despite your best efforts, right? So what you're implying here is that your husband had a vasectomy. You had your tubes tied. Despite your best efforts, you still wound up pregnant, right? And your best course of action is termination of the child. Because you're more concerned about your health. But yet you still having sex. And he's still ejaculating inside of you. It makes a whole lot of sense. Really. So you got pregnant even though you had your tubes tied and he had a vasectomy due to your best efforts of preventing pregnancy, when the best way to prevent a pregnancy is by not having sex. I mean, there's other ways you can do it, you know. You do know that, right? But for some odd reason, you got pregnant. And because of this, you got to go on a movement so that all women can hear your story. So that you could push more propaganda and lies. Okay. It makes a lot of sense.
When I had 1.5-year-old twins, and we had to make the very difficult decision to pursue that pregnancy or terminate that pregnancy. You know, living in DC, recognizing that Black people in DC represent 50%.
You're stumbling. That means you're lying. You're fumbling on your words. I heard that. You were fumbling. You were like, bleep, bleep, bleep. That's all, folks. Listen to her fumble. Listen.
Of the population in DC. You know, living in DC, recognizing that Black people in DC represent 50% of the population. You know, living in DC, recognizing that Black people in DC represent 50%. You know, living in DC, recognizing that Black people in DC represent 50% of the population in DC, but 90% of the maternal deaths.
Oh, so Black people represent 50% of the population, but they also represent 90% of the maternal deaths. Really? Where do y'all get these numbers from? 90% of the maternal deaths. Really? And you want us to believe that it's you giving birth to children. Could it possibly be that if those numbers were true, that they are actually putting you folks to death on purpose? Could it be that that's a part of the agenda? It's not that you're getting pregnant and having babies. That's not the problem. Because the Bible says that you're going to be fruitful and multiply. It didn't say that you're going to be fruitful, bring forth children, and die in the process. It didn't say that. So I know that you're lying. So there's something else that's going on that they're not telling you. Let's go.
In DC. So
Why do you think that is?
It's a lot of reasons. One, it's racism. And
Racism. Do you care to explain what racism you're dealing with and why is it that these said hospitals and health organizations, why is it that they are allowed to practice medicine and provide bad care? Please explain that to me. I need to know why. Right? Well, let's go.
Racist care, both disrespectful care in hospitals. I've gone to 2 different hospitals in DC to deliver and have received disrespectful care where I wasn't listened to.
You weren't listened to, but you remained there. So you tolerated the disrespect and you remained there under their care. Okay, we believe you.
And additionally, it's racism over our life course. You know, from the time we're born to the time we reach reproductive age. So
the time we're born to the time you reach reproductive age, according to you, BWs have experienced nothing but racism, right? And your goal is that they need to just get rid of all their children. That's what's going to stop the racism. Which side are you on, man? Sounds to me like you're the enemy at the end of the day.
There's 20 years of research to show
20 years of research to show
that the stress that we endure because of racist policies, because of trying to overcome and circumvent the system.
Circumvent the system. Sounds to me like you're doing something that goes against the grain. You know, as I've known in my training in different, skilled trades, you're not supposed to circumvent a safety. You know, if, let's say, for example, you have a low water cutoff, right, and you circumvent the safety, then what you're doing is you're trying to bypass how it's supposed to work. That's what you modern women are doing right now. Oh, yeah. I don't believe a word that woman is saying.
To get terminal degrees to succeed, that weathers our reproductive organs and can put us in higher risk when we're pregnant.
All of this nonsense about higher risk and organs and all this other stuff, man, I tell you, propaganda is a business.
Your organization's website says your mission is to lead the effort to solve the most pressing health issues that affect Black women and girls in the U.S. So how does the...
See, she's a part of an organization, fam. She has an agenda. Oh, yeah. Let's see what it says on the screen there. It says, I guess that's her particular organization. Now, I don't understand how that's helping BW's health. To lead the effort to solve the most pressing health issues that affect Black women and girls in the U.S. through investments in evidence-based strategies. We deliver bold new programs and advocate health promoting policies. Yeah, right. No, you don't. You promote getting rid of the future generations of our people. Oh, yeah. You're exposed, fam. Let's go.
SCOTUS ruling impact that mission?
So it just energizes us in our mission. We started in reproductive health 40 years ago.
So you're doing all of this work, all of this study, but you want us to believe that you got pregnant and needed to terminate the child, right? See, nothing you saying is adding up at all.
So we will just continue the fight.
So you're going to continue to fight, right? Continue to program all of our women to get rid of all their babies, right? That's your goal, right? Who are you working for, the Most High or Satan? Which one? Because it seemed like you're trying to do this so that our people don't multiply, but all the other nations, they get to multiply, right? They get to multiply. So that's the goal. That's the goal with the whole Roe v. Wade overturn, is so that the other nations can continue to multiply, but our women, they need to continue to get rid of their babies. Really. Where are all these so-called content creators that love to talk about BWs? Why are they not talking about this? See, they don't want to deal with the real issues.
Develop allies and work with our allies.
So you want to develop and work with allies in hopes to get our women to get rid of future generations out of the fear of, if they bring the baby to term, that it's going to cause them to die. That's what you want them to believe.
Our reproductive other organizations that we work with to continue to fight to make sure that abortion access, it's accessible, it's safe, and that we work on the front end in terms of contraception as well.
Oh, so you want all of that to be accessible to Black women? So all the other nations of women, they don't need that, because if they get pregnant, they can have a child with no issues. They're not going to die. So now having a child for a BW means death. That's the new fear that we're putting out there for our women. Don't get pregnant, because if you do, you're going to die. It's high risk. It's a high risk thing. You're just going to die. Okay. All right.
I want to get to another question about what we heard from Asa Hutchinson, the governor of Arkansas, and AOC today. So Governor Hutchinson essentially said he is comfortable with the government forcing a woman to carry out a pregnancy. Here is how Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez reacted to that this morning.
The state of Arkansas and Governor Hutchinson governs over a state that has the third highest maternal mortality in the United States. 71% of the women who die are Black women as well. This is a state that has 26% child poverty, where 1 in 4 children are living in
She was about to say extreme poverty. Do you see how they see you, sisters? Why are these people acting like they care about Black people? Look what she was about to say. She was about to say extreme poverty. So let me get this straight. Black women shouldn't be bringing forth no babies because you're all living in extreme poverty, right? And you all need to get rid of your children, right? But you don't need to take personal accountability on the fact that you're having sex, right? See, you don't need to go terminate pregnancies. What you need to do is have more accountability when it comes to sex. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Listen.
Poverty in the state of Arkansas are Black women as well. This is a state that has 26% child poverty, where 1 in 4 children are living in poverty in the state are Black women as well. This is a state that has 26% child poverty, where 1 in 4 children are living in poverty in the state of Arkansas, and where 1 in 4 children are living in poverty in the state of Arkansas, and where 1 in 4 children are living in
where 1 in 4 children are living in extreme poverty. Could you believe this madness? So let me get this straight. All of these BWs that are boss chicks, they get in the bag. They don't need a man. They can do bad by themselves. All of them are in extreme poverty. But everybody else, all the other nations of women, they're doing very well. So you got to get rid of your children because you're in extreme poverty. Peep the game, fam. Peep what they're doing. In other words, they don't want our women to have any babies. Nope. They don't want our women bringing forth any babies. And their premise pretty much is that you are living in extreme poverty, so you don't deserve to bring forth any babies at all. So what they're going to use is they're going to use the fear of, well, you know, if you get pregnant and try to bring forth a baby, you can possibly die. You know, maternal deaths, BWs are at the highest point. Really? That's a lie.
Are living in poverty in the state of Arkansas, and forcing women to carry pregnancies against their will kill them.
So let me get this straight. You're talking about the Roe v. Wade overturn is allegedly forcing women to carry these babies to term, but yet all of you folks, right, you went out there and got the pointy thing against your will, right? They told you that if you didn't get it, you would lose your job. Right? But you still went and did it. You didn't protest. You didn't fight. You didn't call your congressman. You didn't raise no sort of resistance. You didn't give no pushback. You just went out there and took the pointy thing and just took it like a champ. Right? But you want us to believe that, these women are being forced against their will to carry these babies when these women weren't forced to have sex with nobody. These women need to take personal accountability for their lives and they won't be pregnant. Right? With all of the over-the-counter contraceptives and different things and ways in which a woman can prevent pregnancy, you want that our women go and terminate pregnancies because of poverty and how they're being forced. Nobody forced none of these women to lay down with a man. None of these women were forced to have sex. They made the choice to have sex. So if they didn't want a baby, then they shouldn't be having sex. Why nobody's talking about that? Why nobody's talking about personal responsibility and personal accountability with women? Why nobody's talking about those issues? Why is it that we're acting as if though all of these BWs are children and you need to just terminate their pregnancies because that's the best option to help them? It's the best course of action. We need to have access to all these clinics so that we can just get rid of all these generations of kids. We need to just get rid of all of them, only for BWs. Any other woman, they can bypass the system. They can get a pass because after all, they don't got no issues. They don't got no problems. Let's focus only on black women. You're making a lot of sense, really. You really are. But I don't believe you at all.
I want to get your reaction to what we heard her say, and also the fact that many of these states that have abortion bans have exceptions for the mother. If the mother's life is at risk, there is an exception for her to get an abortion. I want to get your take on that as well.
Yeah, it angers me. It's personal.
Why would it anger you, and why is it personal? She just said that some of these states have exemptions if the woman's life is at risk and X, Y, and Z. Why isn't that enough? The truth of the matter is BWs want to go out here, have sex with all these different guys, go on hot girl summer, do what they like, have it a good time. And then when they get pregnant, they want the convenience to just go down to the local clinic and just take care of whatever they want to do. That's what they want to do. You understand? Ain't nothing about being private. If you don't want children, stop having sex. If you don't want children, keep your legs closed. Why all you ladies just keep turning up pregnant? And then you want to talk about, well, I don't want the baby. I just didn't want this to happen. It's just not what I wanted. But you signed up for this.
Because I had to make the gamble of whether...
You ain't have to make no gamble. You and your husband allegedly didn't have to have no sex at all. You know what I'm saying? He could have hit you from the back door or something. I don't know. You could have gave him some head. You could have used a rose toy. There's different alternatives y'all could have pretty much put into play that would have prevented you from getting pregnant. You know, it is what it is. You know, there's no way around it. You're just making up excuses at this point, fam. At the end of the day, a guy don't even need your box anymore. We're gonna have some videos on that where box is literally played out. It really is. There's other alternative ways of, having pleasure with a woman. You don't really have to get pregnant or put yourself at risk of getting pregnant. So your excuses is not really making any sense. But let's go. We don't want to rush to judgment.
I would be here for my own children, as someone who financially supports my family.
So you financially support your family, your man don't. So you're the one who is the breadwinner, but your husband, he ain't working, man. So let me get this straight. He's a stay-at-home dad. While you are the breadwinner, and your whole premise and point in this particular interview is that if you would have got an abortion or whatever the case is, you wouldn't have been alive today to take care of your family. That's what you want us to believe. You want us to believe that mess, right? No, I'm not believing that.
Would I carry out a pregnancy and die?
See?
And not
She's fear-mongering at this point, fam.
be here for the children that are here.
In other words, if she would have went through with the pregnancy, there's a possibility that she could have died, passed away. So what they're trying to do is put the fear in our women that you need to go out there and terminate your kids so that you can be here for your family. All of this is propaganda and lies.
Have and not be here for my husband and my family. So those are decisions that are at play when you say that a woman has to carry out a pregnancy that could be extremely high risk.
Why would it be high risk? Why? You're making excuses and lies. You understand? You're making excuses. You're saying this in a way where other women is going to use the same propaganda, the same lies as an excuse to justify themselves getting rid of children. But yet y'all all out here having sex. And the only reason why you came on that news broadcast is to have the image of a woman who is married. We don't know nothing about you. We don't even know if you're even real. And I can care less if you're married or not. The point is, don't come out on the TV, on the airwaves, and pew this garbage as if though our people have some sort of problem bringing forth children. No, they don't. You're just a part of the system working as an enemy of your own people to push the nonsense so that our people can be destroyed. That's what you're doing. I can see right through you. I can see right through you, fam. Trust and believe that.
Could die from.
But do you accept the exceptions? Do you trust those exceptions, essentially, for women, for the mothers who could have their lives at risk? They have an exception to get an abortion in some of these states.
Now notice, she's making it clear that in some of these states, there are exceptions for women that their lives is at risk. She just said that, if these women have high-risk pregnancies, possible death, X, Y, and Z. Let's see how she responds to this madness.
If we trust those women and trust Black women to know what those health risks are, to know that they are at health risk as well, and those medical providers also believe them, then that would be at that. But no, right now I don't trust them to make a decision.
That doesn't make no sense what she just said. If there are exceptions that a woman can still get a termination of pregnancy, if her life is at risk, there are certain, rules in place where there's a possibility she can still have a termination of pregnancy. She just said that she still don't trust that or trust the women or the doctors or whoever the case is. This woman is lying. That entire interview was a total failure. It went right over everybody's heads. I don't see how could anybody take her serious at this point based on her response right there. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you really think about it, if you really listen to her words, what she had to say, it doesn't make any logical sense. But anyway, let's get into this thing again. Let's go.
For us to carry out a pregnancy and trust that medical risk.
All right. Thank you so much, Kanika Harris. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Wow, this is crazy, fam. This right here is really crazy. But, the reason why they had cut it short right there is because they knew that she messed up. They knew she messed up right there. But anyway, leave your feedback. Let me know what you think of this. Yeah, man, this is crazy, man. She says she will continue the fight. Advocate on impact of Roe v. Wade reversal for BWs. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna get on out of here. Got some things to do. We'll be back with another show. It's Black Male Advice TV, the best channel on YouTube for reactionary videos, commentary and criticism, news reporting. We bring it to you raw and uncut, the way you need to hear it. Black Male Advice TV. We will be back with another video. I'm out, fam. Peace.
If you like our content, consider supporting via Cash App at $Ringo TV Raw. Become a patron on patreon.com for exclusive video content not shown on YouTube. You could also support through PayPal at paypal.me/Ringo TV Raw. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new content. Follow me on Instagram at Ringo TV Raw.
This is Black Male Advice TV, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth 100% raw and uncut. I'm out. Peace.